Alrighty boyos, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we're going to be talking about the new sci-fi bat known as the Astro Bat 9000 in Fortnite Save the World. This of course is the new club weapon, and normally club weapons are absolutely garbage, so is the Astro Bat 9000 any different? That's what we're going to find out in today's video. Before we do jump into it, I'm going to go ahead and remind you guys that my code demonjoefr is 30% off at gfuel.com. If you guys would like to support me and grab anything from the site for a big discount, then you can do that and I would greatly appreciate it. But let's go ahead and jump into the video and talk about the Astro Bat 9000. So if I go and head on over to the armory in the schematics, we can find it right here. This of course is the Astro Bat. Now this thing is very different from any normal weapon. This is actually a ranged melee weapon. If we take a look at the description, it says Club Light Retro Sci-Fi. A fairly quick bat with high damage and low impact, but it has an energy slam, a heavy attack that launches an explosive energy ball at enemies, dealing damage in an area. So quite interesting right there. Now for my specific build, I know a lot of people are probably going to be using this bat with Paleo Luna, but I decided to go a different route. I went with a crit rating, double crit damage, and a heavy attack energy efficiency for this weapon to try to maximize on that pretty decent damage. One of my favorite ninjas in the game, of course, is Deadly Blade Crash. She does insane affliction damage, so I really want to capitalize on that with this crit build. Of course, if you do want to use this with Paleo Luna, you can go with an attack speed build, attack speed, damage, maybe even crit rating for corrosive strikes if you would like, but me personally, I'm going to go ahead and go with this crit damage, try to make this weapon as beefy as possible whenever it comes to its overall damage output. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at my hero loadout that I'm using for this. This, of course, is the loadout for the video. We're going to be using Deadly Blade Crash, who gives us corrosive strikes. Melee critical hits apply a 30% snare and affliction, which deal 80% of damage dealt each second for 3 seconds. Now, you could, of course, use Paleo Luna, like I mentioned earlier, or you could maybe use a Constructor. However, I would definitely say do not, as the impact for this weapon is very bad, and if you do want to take advantage of kinetic overload, you're way better off with a hardware weapon instead of a club. The team perk is Blast from the Past, which will take away our shields and give us a crazy amount of health. To go along with this, we went with Saurian Hide, which will give us extra armor while our shields are depleted. Saurian Claws, which comes from Paleo Luna, which will give us more melee weapon damage in correlation to our health. Assassination, Swab the Deck, and Going Coconuts. Keep in mind that Swab the Deck is the only hero, the only perk in this game that will buff a club. So quite interesting right there. Definitely would not use her in Commander, however, as stuff like Deadly Blade and Paleo will still do more damage. Of course, Going Coconuts right here so that we can heal ourselves and get extra damage. Adrenaline Rush for the heals, and Slow Field for the test. So what I'm going to do for this video is go ahead and jump on over into a power level 124 mission, and we're going to check this weapon out against a group of husks using the heavy attack, trying it out on a smasher, seeing exactly how quickly we can kill a smasher, and then I'll be giving you guys my overall impressions of this weapon, and we'll really see if this is any different than your average club. Alrighty boyos, so here we are. Oh god. Alrighty boyos, so here we are in game with the Astro Bat. I went ahead and grabbed the health pylon as well as a few coconuts so that I could go ahead and maximize my damage, and I also ended up finding 2 smashers somewhere around here. They're spread throughout the map. I found 2 smashers that we can do some smasher tests on as well. Seeing as I'm already getting attacked by a group of husks, I reckon I can go ahead and showcase to you guys the heavy attack on this bat for those of you that are curious and want to see what kind of damage it can do. There is the heavy attack. I do apologize, it got a little clouded by the lobbers down there. I'll go ahead and shoot them with it. So here you go. There is the heavy attack, as you guys can see. Do one more. And as you guys can see, it really doesn't do much damage, but that's only whenever it doesn't crit. Whenever it does crit, hopefully, okay, it didn't crit at all. That's absolutely abysmal damage. Whenever it does crit, in the case of him, you can see that it does some really good damage, especially with the corrosive strikes proccing. You do it one more time, and no crit. Okay, this is actually kind of painful. One more time, crit time. There you go. So whenever this heavy attack does crit, it will do some pretty decent damage, and that is what the heavy attack will look like. One of my main critiques about the heavy attack on this weapon is that although it's pretty useful and you can definitely get a lot of use out of it, you can definitely rack up some kills with it, whenever it doesn't crit, is a huge ordeal, as well as the blast radius. As you guys could see, this husk right here was standing quite literally right next to the other one whenever I hit him with the heavy attack. However, this guy suffered barely any damage whatsoever from that heavy attack. The range on this thing, the range of the explosive, is terrible. And being able to see a basic husk like that lobber, for example, be able to withstand a hit from this basic attack, or from this heavy attack, my apologies, is very, very bad. Now, the normal attack from this club is actually pretty decent. As you guys can see, this is me, just using the basic attack of it. And although it does have some very slow attack speed, it does do some substantial damage. However, comparatively to some other weapons, you're definitely looking at better damage with something like a spectral blade or something like that. But it is pretty decent. It is pretty okay damage. Just my main issues with the heavy attack in general, going back to that, is the fact that its blast radius is abysmal, and when it doesn't crit, you can definitely tell that it doesn't crit. We do have a smasher over there that we can go ahead and test the regular attacks on, but I'll go ahead and showcase the heavy attack just a little bit more on this group right here. As you guys can see, no crit. And then that right there was a crit. Huge points are getting taken off of that blaster. Go and hit him one more time. Unfortunately, we didn't get a crit, so he's not dead. We can just go ahead and finish the job like that. Go and eat a coconut, get my health back, and there we go. So, as you guys can see, using up energy and being able to make yourself vulnerable whenever you are heavy attacking, you really do want to get some return out of it, right? The fact that I might be in the middle of a battle and I'm surrounded by a lot of husks and I got to stop what I'm doing to start up this animation and, to then use up some of my energy as well, you definitely do want to get some return on that, and maybe that's something that Paleo Luna can do pretty well in the sense that you are going to get consistent damage whenever you are heavy attacking. However, it is very nice whenever it does crit, although when it doesn't, very painful. The blast radius as well, very painful on this weapon. But let's go ahead and check out what the normal damage looks like on this club against just a normal smasher, power level 124. Of course, we're going to maximize our damage by eating a coconut right before the start. So let's go ahead and slow field this guy. He does have a husk next to him, but that's okay. Eat a coconut. Go and kill this guy. Oh, he actually has a little bit of a group with him, so we'll just focus on the smasher. And as you guys can see, pretty decent damage across the board. Nothing to really write home about, however. Nothing that's going to be really substantial and out of this world. So as you guys can see, just judging by the heavy attack and judging by the basic damage of the Astro Bat, we're looking at something that's pretty mediocre. Not exactly 100% trash, but something that's pretty mediocre. We can go ahead and test it out on this smasher as well. I'm not going to slow field him because I'm lazy. Go ahead and have him rush me. There we go. Eat a coconut. And just kind of whack on him a little bit. So, some okay damage. If you can get some crits in there, definitely very noticeable damage that you can get off. And there we go. So that is it for the smasher. We can go ahead and take out these husks right here that are coming at us with the heavy attack. Of course, it crit on that husk right there, so it did tons of damage. On the right husk, not so much. We can actually go ahead and hit around the right husk. Oh god. The impact was so low, I was actually expecting it to knock him over. Wow, it actually still didn't knock him over. Jeez. Jeez. Okay, this heavy attack, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It can be good at times, but whenever you are looking at a crit chance of, let's take a look at it really quick. A crit chance of 48%, you are going to get some pretty inconsistent hits whenever it comes to the heavy attack. Now, my main issue with this bat, of course, we did talk about the heavy attack, we did talk about the mediocre damage, but this weapon right here could actually turn into something pretty great if we were to have any heroes that were really based around clubs. If we had a hero that was based around a club in the sense that it gave extra crit damage or it gave extra crit rating, very similarly to the way that some hardware heroes work, this club could actually be very good, because as we talked about earlier, Swab the Deck, which comes from Hype, is the only club hero in the game, and she's going to give us 17% extra damage, 50% if she's in the commander. But I think that this club right here does have potential, but we just, in general, do not have any club heroes. And there we go. After, I think, 4 attempts, I was finally able to crit on that blaster. So hopefully we do see some pretty good club heroes later down the line to hopefully make this pretty good. But whenever you are using a just normal Deadly Blade Crash loadout, you are going to notice some inconsistencies in crits when using your heavy attack, and if you as well were to use Paleo Luna, you probably won't be able to get as high numbers, and your heavy attack might not be able to do as much damage in general, but at the very least it is going to be consistent. And if we were to try this out on a smasher, just, you know, using the heavy attack alone, you're going to see that I'm going to give up pretty quickly here. You're going to see that it is very bad. The heavy attack is really mainly used for multi-target damage. However, the fact that the blast radius of this multi-target damage ability is so low, I don't really know that I would really advise using it for multi-target damage that much. I mean, even as we saw earlier, you're not even sometimes going to be even damaging some of these husks. There we go. We actually got them down there. We can go ahead and throw it into that group right there. And as you can see, a lot of the husks weren't even affected by the blast radius. So that's some pretty good examples of that. Hopefully be able to finish this guy off. Maybe. There we go. I think we got a crit on that. Take care of these zappers right here. By the way, I think I'm actually probably going to be getting some comments about this. The heavy attack does ignite propane, so be careful about that. It is an explosion, so it will ignite propane if you were to use it near a propane. So definitely do keep that in mind. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the review. I don't really want to showcase anything else. I pretty much showcased everything I needed to. So too long didn't read. What exactly do I think about the bat? It's pretty mediocre. Definitely wouldn't use it over any other weapons. You know, over most weapons really. Clubs are still in a pretty bad spot due to the fact that there aren't really many heroes that are dedicated to it. But you may be able to find use with this weapon if you are in a smoke screen, acid pools mission perhaps, or, you know, you're sitting on top of the base and you want to rain down some explosives. Maybe you could do that. That might be possible, it might be useful, but just in general, probably not. I would much rather have a teammate using another weapon instead. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys would like to see these kind of weapon reviews a lot earlier on, we do always do a live weapon review over on twitch.tv whenever a new weapon drops. You guys can find the link in the description to that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly do appreciate it. Those are my thoughts on the Astro Bat. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and I will see you guys next time.